Hey guys, it's Kane. Welcome to another Autism Digest interview, where today I have someone who I'm really excited to talk to. I follow the Autism Speaks Instagram, and I saw this individual's story and knew I had to get him on this platform. He's a musician on the spectrum who's performed all across the North. He's been through addiction, he's been through discrimination, and overdose, and it's actually been inspiration for his latest album. He is Andrew Ace Greenspan. Thanks for coming on, Andrew.
Thank you for having me.
All right, my first question for you is, for those that may not know you, do you mind telling a bit of your story in your own words?
So I am a singer-songwriter, pianist, vocalist. I play a little bit of everything, but that is my main instrument when I go out there. I'm on the autism spectrum. I was diagnosed when I was 18, and it was very hard for me because I thought that made me different in bad ways. But I learned to accept that it gave me special abilities that I recognized and could help other people see that they can embrace those qualities too. So through my music, that's what I'm trying to do. But the diagnosis, as I said, was hard for me. It put me into a downward spiral when I thought it was so terrible, and I ended up in a lot of hospitalizations, on a lot of medication for over a decade long due to these challenges. Some were also physical pain that I struggle with. Um, but yes, relating to the autism and mental health, eventually I grew an addiction to the medications I was prescribed for pain, anxiety, mental health, autism, things like benzos, opiates, marijuana, nicotine, alcohol were extra things. So today I am 1 year and almost 7 months sober. So I'm trying to show that recovery is possible. You can still live rough and hang tough, as I say in my album.
That's awesome. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
And I deeply admire your story. My next question for you is, how do you think autism helps you when you make music?
Uh, so I think that you're very aware of your surroundings. You're very aware of intuitive into certain notes that stick out to you that you could do differently than the average songwriter, in my perspective. I kind of like to think, what can I do different that's not out there already? So that's what I would say.
I definitely respect that, and I think a lot of neurodivergent artists are the same way. For example, as controversial as he is, Kanye, yeah, in a way, is we could looking past his controversies, he can take an album and make it a whole different sound that no one has ever heard before. So I definitely admire that perspective, which leads to my next question. How do you think addiction and autism fall hand in hand with one another?
Good question. I've been challenged on this one more than I thought, and I can tell you that I think there is a bigger connection than people like to believe or think. I did an interview with News 12 earlier this year when the album came out, and there was a psychologist who spoke about this. He would say things like a lot of people with autistic tendencies can have obsessive qualities, which, if you get into the wrong state of mind or situation, and you're involved with things that can be addictive substances, that's not a good match. So for me, that didn't go well. So I would say yes, those obsessive compulsive behaviors or things that you do, just generally, that whether it's behaviors, different patterns that most people don't always have.
I definitely agree with that point of view. I think with anything, really, those obsessive compulsions that we have can get in the way of certain things, but it's best to give resources that are out there to help work on those things. Which leads to my next question. What's your advice for anyone, neurodivergent or not, that either wants to make it in music or is going through addiction?
So the first part, people that are neurodivergent that want to make it in music, I would say, be you, be original, and don't try to be something that's already out there. I think there is just all this noise. And I hear my idols say this all the time, and I think that it's very true. You have to produce something that stands out from the rest. No one is going to have any interest in listening to you or your original work if there's no impact. You have to have a reason for people to want to be interested in you and have value. So even people that are not neurodivergent, I think if you're struggling with addiction, that's a perfect time to put your feelings on the paper and try to express yourself. For me, it took a long time for me to physically produce something from start to finish when I was in withdrawal from all of my substances I was coming off of. But I can just say it will happen. Just if you're in recovery, trying to go through recovery, it is possible to stay with your support. There is so much support out there. And I think that it really pays off to be sober if you are struggling with addiction. You can be in the moment, you can be just living around the people around you, your family, and not having to worry about a pill, a puff, a drink to get you through that moment. So when I was struggling, I could never feel the moment. I was always having to do one of those things, to be in a family situation or in a public setting. So it's amazing to not have to think about a substance to get through your day.
I definitely feel, yeah, and I think this bad biases can impact a lot of people. And my last question for you is, what does the future hold for you? Do you have any albums that you're working on that you want to promote?
Thank you. Yes, I am working on my new album. I don't have a release date, but I am planning maybe late next year, possibly a little into the next one. I have a new single that I'm preparing to start promoting called Beautiful. I actually played it for the first time at Fiesta in America at the American Dream Mall this past Saturday in East Rutherford, New Jersey. So that was great to finally play it for people. And it's a love song. It's not my typical recovery theme, but I wrote it a while ago. I thought it would be good for Valentine's Day, so I'm planning around a Valentine's Day release.
And we'll be sure to be on the lookout for it. Anyways, that's going to do it for this interview, guys. Thanks so much to Andrew for coming on and sharing his story. If you guys want to see more amazing interviews, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Autism Digest channel. Get yourself her latest issue that looks something like this by going to autismdigest.com. And stay tuned for the audio file of this interview to be posted on our Spotify. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.